Tomar and I made, like, I think he was gonna die a couple last time we recorded.
Did you really?
When Tomar dropped me off, there's a guy, Tomar like parked on the side.
I know what you're talking about.
Tomar, you tell the story.
No, I mean, it's not so much happened, but basically, I was dropping Zach off at an area near his house. So I pull off to the side, I signal, I pull off to the side of the road, and I come to a stop. And then there's some guy, like, behind me who I guess wanted to turn right past that. Yeah. He could have easily gone around me, but he decided
also,
to just like
mention that you were parked in a parking designated
It was
area.
a legal parking area. Like there was like a street sign that had like parking hours, so I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was pulled over completely to the side, but this guy wanted to turn right and was just mad that he had to like slow down or stop. So he like lays on the horn behind me, probably assuming I was just parking. And then Zach got out and he points at him and he's like, "Go get that!"
Yeah, I was like, there is that guy right there. And then I shut the door and Tomar like sped forward, and I'm not kidding.
And the guy freaked out.
The guy floored it, and he like went right.
This was at a red light, by the way.
So the guy floors it. I think he was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna kill me." I was actually very scared. He floored it, went right, and then like went.
He went right and then did a right again. Basically, he illegally ran the red light.
Yeah, he basically went straight, but he was like terrified. I think because I pointed and I like hit the hood of Tomar's car, and Tomar sped up behind him, and the guy like peeled out. He was terrified. Like Tomar,
I didn't like honk or anything. I just like flashed my brights twice to be like, "Hey man, what the hell?"
The guy was actually. I love that.
It sounds like a wicked day you guys had.
And then, then later that day, Tomar pulled out his revolver and said, "Do you believe in God?" And
that definitely didn't happen.
The guy screamed.
Do you believe
in God? And then later that day, while I wasn't there,
do you believe
Tomar
in God?
pulled out his gun.
Yeah, you know what, Zach? Your story doesn't make any sense.
Tomar literally was bragging that he's a 3D printer where he 3D prints illegal bump stocks.
Oh, hello. We went to get an acai bowl, and we were standing in line, and this woman was just standing ordering her food. She was like 50. She looked like a scary, like, witch woman. She was ordering her acai bowl. Adam had not fully woken up yet, so he was thinking to himself, just standing there, like staring into space. And then he suddenly went, like that, right? And then the woman just spun around and looked him in the eye, and then he just went, "I'm sorry." And he just turned around and faced away from her. He just stood there facing in the opposite direction. He literally went, "I'm sorry," and he just turned around. It was so uncomfortable.
I didn't know how to handle it.
Why did you laugh?
I thought it was something funny when I was looking at her legs.
What were you thinking of?
Her legs looked funny.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I didn't mean to though. It kind of happened, and I was like, "Whoops."
Chris and our good friend Adam, who frequents this channel, several times, more than one time, they would be like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'm not doing anything." And they'd come pick me up, and they'd be like, "You want to do something fun?" I'd be like, "Yo, what do you got?" And they're like, Chris goes, "Don't worry, you'll see." And he would drive through downtown Burbank and roll the windows down, and through his Bluetooth, play like wet diarrhea compilation. And it's the most childish because it's like what do you? Here's what happens. Either somebody looks over or they don't.
The funniest thing is there's so many stop signs in downtown Burbank. You have to stop and wait for people, and the rules are you can't turn it off. You have to.
Yeah, there's great rules. There's no points. There's no winning anything. It's just you have to look forward. And
yeah, no, if you look left or right, you see like 50 people staring at you.
But here's the thing, Chris, they would only hear it coming out of the car. It's clearly coming out of the they know what we're doing. That's what I was saying. It's not like a fucking
It's funny.
It is. It's fun. It is funny. Because
the challenge isn't that you're pranking people. The challenge is how cool you can keep yourself. That's the challenge.
Yo, without laughing.
It is like a jump scare though, because the farts you I almost do you have a
It goes from like super quiet. It's like you can hear the shit coming out of the ass. It's like and it's like
but imagine that. But imagine that coming out of a Bluetooth thing where it's like reverberating.
Is this the broad diarrhea?
If you guys remember doing a gun range, you ever shoot a gun so powerful you feel like your bones rattle? That's how like it shakes your entire skull.
It's scary. And then you look left and right, and you see beautiful women looking at you, and you just have to try.
And they jump in the car, and you got to push them out and say like, "No, like you can't come along."
It's like when you're sitting in class, teachers like you cannot laugh, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
You ever hear if you laugh, you lose?
Oh my god,
I've seen you murder countless animals, Chris.
Like when?
I seen you slay the rabbit. I saw you slay the.
okay, that is a thing. I forgot about that. It wasn't my fault. I didn't mean to do it.
What?
We were out driving around in the desert looking for those big fires.
Oh yeah, I think you did tell me this one.
We were driving along this like really steep like desert cliff. And then there was all these rats in the middle of the road. We kept beeping the horn.
You didn't really hit it though.
No, we didn't hit anything. But every time we saw these shrews and rats, we'd beep the horn and they jump like 50 feet in the air and run away. And then we did it to a rabbit. He just jumped off the cliff and died. It was really sad. It was so fucked up.
Yeah, no. Now
I didn't fucking want it to kill itself.
Yeah, okay.
He was just trying to give it a little start.
I know not to scare them now.
That
It was an accident.
I remember you like rolled down the window. You're like, "Oh, look how cute it is!" And then I like just dived off the mountain and died.
You're right. It wasn't. Yeah, it was Niall was beep. Who was beeping at the rats?
Oh, that was me.
And then I stuck my head out the window and I yelled at the rabbit.
Yeah,
and
we
then
like
it
creeped
just
up.
fucking jumped off. It was so fucked up.
That was pretty bad.
But I didn't mean it.
Yeah, he was asking.
I don't want any of God's creatures to kill themselves on my behalf.
Back where we started.
Pine cones. Zach, do you remember the pine cone incident?
Which pine? Wait, which?
When you visited Ireland and we made the video in the woods and there was pine cones?
I actually don't. Oh, I like a fragment of a memory. What was it?
We were walking in the woods shooting a video and then a guy walked by and he was wiping his ass with a pine cone.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
there-
you saw that?
Is there
Yeah.
footage of that?
I don't think there's fun. I didn't whip out the camera and record the poor guy. But he was wiping his ass with a pine cone.
How do you even wipe your ass with a pine cone?
You just scoop the shit out with it.
How do you not find something better?
I would
Your
have used
hand,
my. I would have
your-
used my hand.
Your
Yeah.
mouth,
leaf?
your tongue would be a leaf. Anything in the woods, a big piece of grass,
A big piece of grass.
a big old piece of grass to wipe your ass.
That's just so fucking American, dude.
Dude, a big piece of grass. That's what the founding fathers believed in. A big
Yeah, the
piece of
sweat
grass.
of your brow, a big piece of grass to wipe your ass.
Play cool like patriotic music. Nothing better than wiping my ass with a big old piece of grass.
Have you guys ever been to a real life psychic before?
No.
Would you want to go?
I mean, I guess, sure, if it
I'm
was
not,
like...
I'm not even kidding, by the way. I went a couple days ago, and the woman was crazy.
Did you actually go to one?
Yeah, Adam, Michael, and I went. We literally found the worst rated one in all of Burbank. And she was literally. So we went in, and it was like the door was open the whole time. And it was like there was cars driving by, and the lady. I was the subject because we were debating. Like I was like, I
I can
can't,
just imagine you sitting there with a big smile
I
on
was
your
trying
head.
not to so hard, and the woman was like, "You have a." She put her hand on my head. She goes, "You have a demon attached to you." Basically, she was saying there was a demon attached to me floating around me. And I lied. She was like, I just lied about my life. She just followed all of it. And
Of course.
And yeah, it's not real. But then she was saying stuff. We tried to convince her Mothman was real. She was like, Michael was like, yeah, you said something bad happened. We went into West Virginia. And I was like, yeah, some evil orb flew into my mouth. and Adam goes, yeah, I didn't believe you about that. The woman goes, no, it's real. It's real. Anyways, we should all go to a shitty psychic and record it.
Dude, that'd be good.
That's a great idea. When we were at the outside place today, and there was this like schizo outside.
It was
He
scary.
was sitting down, and he kept going like he had headphones on, plugged into the wall. He was stealing their electricity. But then he was singing along to like a rap, and he was going like.
I thought he was, but then it sounded like he was screaming.
He was screaming. He was doing exactly that. He was going, and then we walked out past him, and he went, "Hey, how's it going?"
that was weird.
So fucking stupid.
It's like, what does he expect us to turn around and be like, oh, us? Oh, we're doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
Max Health.
I went to a Mexican restaurant with Tomar a little while ago, and
Omar. He's not Mexican.
Yeah, it
well,
seems a
I
little
wanted to get him in some trouble.
racist.
And this fucking like weird person screaming in like a fucking like a hospital gown walked
What the
by
hell?
us. And we were like, were we just like side characters in like a fucking like, you know, where it's just like, we just craned our necks and just like looked at like, what was that? You know, like,
Yeah.
like the
Was it
villain
literally
is
a hospital
escaping
gown?
kind of. Yeah, it was literally a hospital
Okay,
gown.
to be honest, today when we were going to get Starbucks, I thought I saw some dude who was in like the same garb from 28 Days Later, because he was wearing like a long sleeve white shirt, but it had a bunch of words
fuck.
on it, which was like, I don't know, religious doctrines.
You know what? it was like very. If you're talking about the Starbucks you guys usually go to, like the one by the IHOP.
Yes.
The Mexican restaurant was literally right there next
So maybe
to it. So it might
maybe
be,
it's his daily haunt.
Yeah, he might roam those grounds. Yeah.
Because he looked like he was in it. It might have just been like the latest fashion. I don't know. I'm not really up on it.
But then on the very same day, we were driving back. And we saw like a woman with like big elephant legs, like walking in the middle of the street.
What?
Like
she had a deformity?
Yes, but she was walking like
She had
down
two club feet.
And I'm talking like big like major street.
Oh.
She was just walking like dead center down the middle of it. So I don't know if like
she was like an elephant on like the Great African
walking
Plains.
in the middle of the road?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if there was like a fucking break at the mental ward that day or something, but it was
Probably.
like it was within the same hour we saw both those things.
A bunch of people probably got let out of prison that day. That's probably what happened.
Okay, Chris, Tomar told me about this tale you have like 3 weeks ago, and I keep forgetting to ask you about it.
What is it?
So something happened to you in like a parking lot, or some guy leapt on you and took control of your mind, or
Wait, what?
yeah, like something like you were at the Grand Canyon and a guy leapt in your ear and then started whispering terrible thoughts.
What are you talking about?
He said that some guy like dug like a device into your back and hacked you.
You're just lying. Tomar's lying. He's starting shit again.
No, it sounded real. What were you talking about, Tomar? Oh my God!
Jesus, leave me. Oh. Okay, so basically, we went on a road trip to Florida, but when we were driving through Utah, we were driving through this like back-ass town. It had a really generic name, and I'd say the name of it because it's so generic, it's kind of funny, but I also don't want to dox the guy. But what is the most generic back-ass name you can think of?
Clearwater.
Okay, that's perfect, right? So we're driving through Clearwater, and I had a bag on my lap, like with like cameras and stuff in it. Does someone else want to play this while I talk? Because I will just get lost. Basically, we're driving through this place. It's just really out of the way, and then I'm just like, I want to put this bag in the trunk, and the two guys I'm with are like, okay. So we're like looking for just anywhere to pull over, right? So we see like a kind of a dirt trail that leads into an open parking lot, right? And there's no signs anywhere, and we're just like, okay, that's perfect. We pull in, the guys get out of the car, and they have some trash on their like, you know, in the front with them, so they put it into a bag, and then they just throw it into an open dumpster. And as I'm throwing my thing in the back, this fucking like security guard in a golf cart pulls up to us really quickly. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" Right? We're just like, "Oh, we're sorry. We were just like pulling off just to put something in the trunk. We'll be right out of here." He's like, "Get the hell out of here! What do you think you're doing?" We're just like, sorry. Like there's literally no signs. We thought this place was just completely empty." And he's like, "If you don't get the hell out of here, I'm calling the sheriff." And this guy like looked exactly like Paul Blart. And we're just like, "Yeah, we're trying to leave. We're gonna go now. Sorry." And he's like, I swear to God, if you're not out of here within 5 seconds, I'm calling the sheriff. I have him on my phone." We're just like, "Dude, we're trying to leave. Like, okay, sorry." And then he was like, "Wait, did you throw stuff in our trash?" And we're like, "Yes, dude, like a little tiny bag with like 2 bottles in it. Sorry." He's like, "Oh, just get the hell out of here. Just go. Get out of here. I know the sheriff." And we're like at this point, we're like not even responding. We're just like we're shocked and in disbelief. This guy's so. And then we're just like, okay. And he's like, "This is a KOA campground. Of course you know, like, you can't just pull in here." And we're like, we didn't know it was anything because there's no signs. It just looked like a parking lot, but okay. And then he like mad dogs us and like looks at us really angry as we're pulling out. And then we get back on the road and we're just like, what the fuck was his problem? This guy's on a fucking power trip. Jesus Christ, right? And then we're just like driving for like 10 or 15 minutes and we're still not over it. We're still all super fucking angry. And we're just like, you know what? Fuck this, right? And then we like look up the town. We look up KOA campground of the town and we find it. And then I call it. A nice lady answers. I'm like, "Hey, I think I left my iPhone in your parking lot." And then she's just like, "Oh, okay." And I'm just like, "Can you make the security guard look for it?" And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay, tell him to call me back when he finds it." And she's like, "Okay." And then like 20, 30 minutes go by and we're like, there's no way he's fucking calling back because that's so obviously us fucking with him. But then we get a phone call back and he's just like, So, I looked across the entire parking lot. I didn't find your phone. I also looked in the restroom, and I looked through the garbage where you guys threw your thing. I went through all the garbage, and I couldn't find your phone. And then we were just like, yeah, it's because we didn't lose it. You're just an asshole. We wanted to waste your time. And he was like, fuck you! Fuck you! Ah! And it was like the most, like, satisfying fucking, like, comeuppance ever.
It was like a Mo Sislak moment.
Yes.
Little scum-sucking pus bucket. When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna pull out your eyeballs with a corkscrew.
It's like, you fucking idiot. Like, of course we're fucking with you. How the hell could you do that? Oh, I got stung in the eye by a bee, and that's exactly what I saw.
That actually sounds horrible and not true.
No, it didn't happen. My mom got stung in the eye by a bee.
That sounds more believable.
She was driving her little fucking moped around back in like 1972. And a wasp flew into her eyeball and stung it.
It's terrible.
Well, shouldn't have been driving around 1972.
Bee stings for much of my life were like the thing I was most scared of.
I got stung once in my life by a bee, and I haven't been stung since.
There was one time when I was going to camp in Georgia, and I just like, I don't know why I did it, but I like ran off into the woods where the ground was all like swampy and wet. And I must have like walked into like a yellow jacket's nest because I got stung by like 6 or 7 of them on my legs.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I was just imagining a tiny Tomar
but
like
yeah, that-
slopping around in the swamp.
That
getting
did
stung by bees.
traumatize me a little bit.
Here, Lyle, you do the footsteps in the swamp, and I'll be Tomar.
Yeah, bees. Bees. Oh my god.
I'm not even upset. I'm just saying, yeah, bees.
Yeah.
I should basically like move out of the bees.
Oh, baby Tomar.
That's what little Tomar
Oh my
sounds
god,
like.
these bees are so much
I mean, pretty much I went into this bee patch expecting not to find bees, and now there's bees.
Tomar, when did you grow your voice?
When did I grow my voice?
Yeah.
Like, when did I start sounding like I sound now?
Yeah.
Probably around like 14 or 15.
Damn.
Oh, so you were one of those early bee eaters.
I was definitely an early bloomer when it came to puberty.
My voice never broke. It just got like 1% more different every year up until now. You ever just sock an old woman in the street? Fuck yes.
I did flip off an old lady one time.
You probably thought that was the coolest shit.
It was really satisfying.
Why? What did she do?
She just went, but it was like such a like genuinely offended noise
At what?
that it was like
What had you done?
well, okay, so here's what it was, right? Is you know when you're like getting off a plane and you're supposed to kind of go like in the order that you are. She was just taking fucking forever to like get out of her seat, and I was behind her, so I just went in front of her, and she went, "Excuse you?" So I just stuck my middle finger in her face, and she just went, "Oh."
Wait, where was this?
This was just getting off a plane.
Oh, you fucking bastard, Lyle.
She deserved it. I don't know. To have that noise leave your mouth, you just gotta be fucking sheltered and taken care of your entire life. That was probably an old lady that just like married into money. Fuck her.
The last time
I know her whole life story just based on that fucking sound that escaped her lips.
That was funny the way you did it.
That's exactly how it sounded.
I've definitely like had some of my like more gritty human moments at airports.
It's very delicious. Remember when the girl pretended to cry because she's getting ice cream, but she wanted a cookie.
Well,
What? I guess it touched me.
you got hit by the pixel boulder.
I think we discussed that little girl already.
Did we?
Well, little girl.
There was one that was screaming and crying, pretending to cry when
Yes.
we were at Disneyland.
Did you hit her?
Yeah, we threw her out.
Were you pulling on her hair when you were running Splash Mountain?
Yeah.
The fake snow killed her. Shade at all.
Daddy, I don't feel good.
He says, "That's okay, Wambo."
This is why I brought you here. Let's put you down.
No. Don't eat it!
Nobody will suspect me.
We went to Not Scary Farm yesterday, and this year is Elvira's done a show at Not Scary Farm.
Was it
for-
really her?
Yeah, it was really
For
her.
You really saw her?
Yeah.
for however many years. Did you look it up? Because I don't know how long she's been doing it. She's been doing
I
it
actually
for.
didn't look it up.
Is she fucking like 80 now?
She's like 50 or 60, right?
You could have fooled me. She still looks very young.
Anyway, this was her last year at Knott's, and they really went all out with the show as a result, and it was a lot of fun. It was very good.
Cool. I thought you were like, I thought you saw a look-alike.
No, it's actually her.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hamoud's there. Yeah, no one's talked about the hamster with the backpack. He's the only character who's been left out.
Why the fuck would you? Oh shit! Get out.
I took that picture in real life.
Oh fuck! No, you didn't. You fucking liar.
I really did, dude. That was an ad. That was like a big flyer in.
You nailed Grinning Worm
at Giant, that grocery store called Giant in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you put a backpack on him? Why?
No, dude. There was an ad that there was a hamster with a backpack, and it was like, come back to school, and I was like, that is the weirdest fucking thing, and so I took a picture of it.
Holy
so
fuck.
I think I'm the only person in possession of that hamster with that backpack.
Have I told you my actual real Fred story?
No.
Do you have a real Fred story?
It's not actually about Fred, but it was just like, I was like driving and I was kind of tired. You know when you're like tired and it's like hard to kind of like focus and shit? Anyway, I saw a dude with a Fred shirt crossing the street, and I swear to fuck, my autopilot was like, oh, I better take my foot off the brake and step on the gas to run this guy over. And I didn't do it, but like once I got my foot off the brake, I realized like what just my gut had told me to do, and I was like, ah.
That is funny.
Now, do you think there's a reality where you would have hit that guy going probably 115 and you would have slowed down, and then a cop would have said, don't worry, you know something, we checked his body, he had a Fred shirt, you're free to go, you know?
This is the reality where I want to.
Me and Zach ever tell you our Fred story?
No.
One time we were like brought into a YouTube network's like headquarters. Are we allowed to tell this, Zach? They're gone now.
Collective is like got bought out or something, I think.
One, they got bought out. Two, they didn't fucking follow up on their deal correctly. I never got paid. Three, fuck them. Anyway, so they brought us in to talk about like being represented by them as a YouTube network, and they were just bragging about Fred and the Annoying Orange, and they had Annoying Orange plushies all over the place. And they were just bragging, and then me and Zach both were just kind of like, we fucking hate Fred. We just kind of said it outright like that.
Because they were like droning on about it. We said it in a way that was not that blunt, but it was basically that blunt because it was like they kept trying to like psych us up, and we were just like, dude.
Yeah.
I also think he asked a question to us at some point too.
Yeah, it was just.
I think they were asking us like, what YouTubers do you guys watch? I think we're just like, we don't really watch any of that.
Oh, Zach, guess what I saw today in downtown Burbank?
What?
We were driving around, and then we saw this crazy homeless lady just tweaking on the street. She was like screaming. Corey literally was like, put up the window, and she like looked over and she was like, she was all angry.
First of all, you are not explaining it properly.
That did happen.
It did happen, but I didn't say put up the window. You said don't do it. And when you looked at Adam, and he's like, oh
yeah, no, Adam was like, we like called her, and we were like, no, you fucking idiot.
Yeah,
but
don't scream to a tweaker. She could run up to you and spit on you.
She looked really angry, right? And no, Corey was right, because when we were driving away, I looked back and I saw a guy walking by her holding like he was walking his dog, and she just like had a cup in her hand and she just smacked it into his face.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what the fuck?
I couldn't even believe it.
Well, you did a drive-by kissing, right, on her?
No,
she was gross.
What?
I tried to find her again. She was like completely gone.
She looked like if you did an experiment that went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Like she looked like she just walked out of a lab.
Yeah.
Like a mad scientist.
She did look like Dr. Rock when he breaks out of the lab. He's all like disheveled and like, oh.
She did look
like, where's
a...
my Rosie? Corey, what were the two things you wanted to talk about?
Well, okay, first let's start with something that like you can kind of like talk about, where you told me something I have no idea what the fuck you were talking about, but it sounded really funny. You went to this like Transformers convention?
Oh, yeah. So,
oh my god,
me, Zach,
dude,
Adam, we all went, and Tomar, we all were driving around one day, and then we were driving by McDonald's, and we saw a bunch of cosplayers on the street. We're like, what the hell? What's going on? Because COVID had just ended, and then we were like, oh look, we saw the hotel and it had like convention sign on the outside. We're like, cool, let's go to the convention. And then we walked in, and it turns out it was just like a Transformers convention. And we tried sneaking into it, but then we got caught, and they were like, you gotta pay $30 each. And we're like, okay, well, at least we can stick around for the convention. And we paid $30 each, and we went in, and it was one fucking room where they were just selling a bunch of Transformers. We're like, this costs $30 fucking dollars.
That's
$30 to go into pay.
I did hear you went in like a square circle.
I hate these cons. They're like, you got to pay in to buy stuff. So you would have made more money if you let people walk around for free. You fucking idiots. But anyways, we went in. We walked around once. Took literally, I think, 2 minutes. And then we were like, well, what else are we gonna do? So we saw that they had Transformers panels going on, and then we were like, okay. So we walked around the hotel, and then
paid $30 for a fucking single warehouse room with Transformers.
Yeah, but then, okay,
go ahead.
But then we found the panel, and it was a voice actors panel for Transformers cartoons, and we walked in and we sat down. It was really awkward. This girl ushered us in, and she was like, "Oh, this is a really good panel. It's really good." We were like, "Okay." We all sat down, and then we were just sitting there. And the first thing that happens was this guy walked up, and he asked the panel of Transformers voice actors. He was like, I would like to see you do.
He sounds like an evil supervillain.
Well, he kind of was, because he was like, I would like.
Interesting as
I would like. So this Transformers guy also voices a Spider-Man character. I'm guessing. I think Peter Parker. So he was like, I would like to see you create a conversation between Peter Parker and this Transformer. And then the guy was like,
my God.
Yeah, the guy was like, okay. And then he started it, and like you would think that the voice actor would like say like one thing and get it over with, but he went on for like fucking 10 minutes. He was just doing a giant fucking bit.
He was absolutely waiting for. He had been practicing forever.
Was he getting laughs at the peanut gallery?
Yeah. Was everybody laughing and like, or were they just like, eh?
Was it pity laughs or was it like?
It was. I mean, like when people go to these things because they worship these guys, they'll laugh at anything anyway.
But were they laughing?
Yeah.
The whole way through.
But as a guy who walked in and just sat down, it was like, Jesus Christ, man, get on with it.
I have to ask, was it worth the $30?
No. I mean,
what?
Like, what was I expecting? I'm not into Transformers.
I don't know what you were expecting. I'm the same way.
For $30, you should be getting a lot,
If I was going in and they were like, it's a Transformers concert, I'd be like, I'm leaving. I don't care.
Transformers concert.
I don't know.
We should have just gone home, but we were bored, okay? We were bored and we're looking for adventure.
Yeah, Chris, I wasn't there with that.
Oh, I thought you were. It was me, the two Adams, and Tomar then.
Yeah, I think it was that.
That is really funny.
Have I ever told you guys about the rudest fucking thing someone has ever done to me?
What did I do?
I'd like to hear it.
I like how you assume it's you. No, I was at a fucking airport, and I was waiting for my plane, so I was just sitting at the chairs, the plane waiting chairs, and this guy has these kids that are like acting up and yelling and just being shitty.
Yeah.
And so what he does is he starts yelling at his kids. I don't know what he was saying because he was speaking some other language. But he takes them over to me, and then he puts one on one side of me and one on the other side of me to like separate them, but using me as a divider. And I was so fucking taken aback. Like, I couldn't believe that a human being would like do that intentionally to another human being.
You just stood up and walked away.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly what I did.
Okay.
I wish I would have fucking said something to him though. Like, I wish in that story I would have been like, dude, you cannot do that to people. What the fuck?
No,
but
that's really bad.
I didn't. I just fucking got up and left.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Editor, play the poop song.
The poop song?
Did I get him?
I know what to do when I'm about to poo. I go to the toilet, pull my underwear
This guy's got
down.
an extra, huh?
What is this? What are you singing?
It's the poop song.
Is it real?
Yeah. Don't you know nothing?
Apparently not.
We went to the Scientology building and drove around it over and over, blasting that song.
Did you?
Yeah. And then all these people started running behind the car, and it got really scary, and we left.
Oh wait, you were. I didn't know that part of the story that you were playing that song.
Yeah, no, and it was so scary. We were like looking in the like rear view mirror, like in Jurassic Park, and there's this like old lady like crouched running after us.
Oh boy.
It was fucking scary.
To the poop song?
Yeah. I sit and wait. I sit and wait. Sit and wait until the poop comes out. I saw an alien recently.
What did he say?
It was just a little dot in the sky.
What did he say to you?
Nothing.
Yes,
He
I just
did, like-
enough.
I'm not kidding. Me and Niall and our friend were out in the desert, and there was these little dots flying around, and they were doing circles really fast in the sky.
But how do you know it was an alien?
It was definitely an alien, because humans
Well,
don't do that.
How did you know it was a vehicle?
Maybe you just haven't met a human that does that.
I don't think it was Iraq because it was doing loop-de-loops and shit. It was going really quickly.
What if it was Iraq?
It could have been.
What if there's a super top secret UFO program in Iraq?
What if that was Saddam Hussein's cool force ghost?
That's his like sentience inside of a rock.
Yeah, that was his like Luke Skywalker astral projection ghost.
I don't know. Whatever it was fucking cool.
Saddam Hussein appeared in the clouds like Mufasa to you and spoke to you. Hello, Chris.
Yes.
Make another nugget.
All right.
It's nugget time. Nugget biscuit, nugget and a biscuit, nugget biscuit. See? Remember?
There.
You like Tobuscus.
Love him. Can't get enough of the guy. I've told my Tobuscus story on this show, right?
I don't think so.
Wait,
I got
like about a time you met Tobuscus?
Yeah. I got really drunk at a party that he was at. I don't want to get too far into it, but people had been hearing that Tobuscus was like a colossal piece of shit for years and years and years before anything came out about him publicly.
Yeah.
Literally every single place the guy went, he created a bad story about himself. Like, I'll just say that. And I also thought his content sucked and he annoyed me. So, like, I basically got really drunk and just told him to his face that I hated his shit. And, it was at the height of his career, too.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, fuck. This guy could, like, I don't know, get me in trouble or blacklist me or whatever. And just, I got progressively more confident in that decision just the longer time went on. It went from, like, initial regret to, like, oh, maybe that wasn't too bad to, like, oh, yeah, now I'm kind of glad I did that.
If you stepped outside and you heard a booming voice that made all the windows on all the buildings shake, and it said, "Chris O'Neill, give me all your money."
I'd be really frightened.
And you would say,
I'd be terrified.
You would say, "It's Satan."
I would assume some fucking Illuminati shit's happening.
Well, everybody around you looks up.
Nobody knows who I am.
No, but they're all like, "What the fuck was that?"
What if everyone on the street turned and looked at me at the same time?
What if
That happened
everybody?
to
What if you could pick up everybody on the street like this?
That happened to me on a small scale once. I was walking by. I was
Stole a guy.
I was walking by a
It's okay,
Yoshinoya's, and I was thinking to myself, like, who the fuck eats at Yoshinoya's? Like, that's because I remember trying it when I was younger and I didn't like it, and I don't know why anybody else would, because it's probably not very good. Maybe it is. Oh, he's dead.
Killed a man.
But my point is, I was staring into it and thinking, who could possibly want to eat there?
Yeah.
And
I'd
then
like to eat there.
there was like 5 or 6 people sitting in there, and they all looked at me, and I got freaked out.
They all said it in unison. Us, Julian, we eat here.
All right, real quick. I'm gonna out myself and share a psychopath story. Long ago at AX, or no, not AX. Fucking goddamn it. Not recently. Okay, long ago at Too Many Games.
Okay.
When I was a young boy, just going with my friends for fun. I was there, and they had this weird burlesque show, like after hours at the thing.
For children?
Well, no, just for the adults. But it was not sexy, and I was going to leave. But as I was walking back, the auditorium wasn't that full. The burlesque show wasn't popular, and there was a guy sitting in the back, and they didn't have all the lights on. So in the back, it's like really dark. There was a man who was a nice, healthy weight sitting there cosplaying as Link, and his tights were like pressing around his thighs, very strong. And he's sitting down, slumped down like Goku does when he's dead and upset. Yeah. And I took out my phone because I thought he was really funny looking. And I held up to take a picture. I thought he wouldn't notice. And this is really bad. This taught me a moral lesson. This was God doing this. I didn't realize my flash was on. So I snapped the photo and it flashed, and he looked up at me, and we locked eyes. I just put my phone in my pocket and walked away, and I felt really
man.
Did you catch his boner on tape?
No, I didn't.
Wait, did he have an erection?
No, he just...
Oh, I thought that's where you're going, because you were saying it was like beautiful women and he had tight pants. I thought you were going to say you got his boner on tape.
No, he just had main character vibes, so I wanted to catch him on film.
But also, do you think he had a boner, but he was trying to hide it because he was leaning forward like that?
I think this guy was just depressed.
No, you think he was just miserable?
He had a depression boner.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
He just it's that funniness where it's a guy dressed as a character who couldn't look further from being the character.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to show my
that's
friends.
That's when he fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. 20 years in the future.
I'm just fucking done.
When I was younger, I went to Nick's Studios. You know the way you can walk into Nick's Studios?
Yeah.
And you have to take your shoes off?
No.
'Cause Dan Snyder's in the building?
No.
I did actually have to, but anyway, so, no, but it was like one of the Universal Florida things. And I don't know why they make it seem like, okay, kids, come in here and start like throwing like slime and shit around. And then they brought us into a room, and then I thought I was gonna be on TV, but it turns out it was all fake. I don't understand what the point was.
Mean? They fooled a bunch of children to think they were gonna be televised.
I mean, I just assumed I was because it was Nickelodeon, so I was young and stupid. But it felt like a TV show. It didn't feel like a ride or anything. Or
what did they have you do?
Like throw balls into a pot, and they made us like fuck each other and stuff.
Suck and fuck.
No.
Okay, that last part wasn't exact. They did not do that. I don't know if we ever told that story on here.
Shoot.
No, you should tell it. It's funny.
But when I first met Jeff,
that story rocks.
I met him at Newgrounds and we were getting on really good. And then he walked away from his desk for like 1 minute, and I went on his computer and I left myself a review as Jeff saying this cartoon kicks ass, and he got really fucking mad. Then he went on to my account and he fucking hacked me. You didn't hack me. You went on my account.
You left. You went home and you left yourself logged in on one of the computers. So I said, all right. I rubbed my hands together and I'm like, time for some payback. And I wrote a huge confessional that
break that.
Chris O'Neill, was coming out of the closet. And then Chris didn't. I guess I did that while Chris was in the air on the plane, so he couldn't do shit about it.
When I was like 12 years old, I went to a swimming club like every morning, or not every morning, every few mornings I'd have to go to swimming club at like a really early hour. And one time I had a pain in my tum-tum. And
just walk through that.
And I got into my swimming gear and I walked into the bathroom to take a pee before I got in the pool. But the second I tried peeing, I shit myself.
Oh no.
And then I had to walk past a bunch of like dudes while I was like trying to hide my shit in my little Speedo. No, I was walking like Luigi was. Just walking past like a changing room of like mean assholes.
Were they laughing at you?
They didn't see. One guy was like, "Why are you walking like that?" I just walked by him.
What did they say to a
Imagine
kid?
being in a locker room, like inspecting the way that children walk, to just be like,
I was gonna say that guy's in the wrong there, man.
yeah. Even if he noticed, it'd be like, what? Why do you have your ear to the ground for this kind of shit, you fucking psycho?
Hobart, have we told the tale of the Best Buy experience we had, where we lied to that man, that manipulator?
I don't know if we did. So yeah, there was this one time that Zach and I, we went into a Best Buy. We happened to be just grabbing something nearby, and Best Buy was next door. And I was like, "You want to just jump in there and just take a look for the hell of it? I haven't been in Best Buy in a while." So we're in the camera section, and all I'm thinking to myself is like, man, with like cell phones and stuff, who really like needs these like kind of like non-professional level point and shoots anymore? And we were looking at this one in particular that had this like gigantic fixed lens on it. And I'm just like, who the hell would ever need this? And then like as I'm saying that, this salesman walks over and he's like, can I help you guys with anything? And I'm about to just go like, no, I'm good. When Zach just like cuts me off and he's like, oh yeah, we're about to go on our honeymoon in Bangkok, and we just want to know, does this camera take good pictures of like the moon? And the guy's like, yeah, definitely does. And Zach just keeps like dropping like more and more bullshit to the point where it's like, he's like, now I remember I read online is this that camera that has the 24 karat gold chip inside? And he's like, yeah, this is the one.
What?
He would have like I had the sense that this guy just would have lied to any idiot that was buying something. And he went, yeah, no, that's the one. I said a 24 karat chip. That means nothing for a kid. Why the fuck would that matter?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, that's the one. And I was like, all right. I was like, that sounds good. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my debit card in the car.
Get my debit card out of the car. Yeah.
We just left. I was just like, because I just got the vibe. I was like, this is a guy. Because I was like, I could tell that this was a guy that would lie to a stupid consumer.
A guy lied to me in there one time. I was buying something, and he said I had to sign up for something and give him my phone number, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. He said, but you have to. I said, no, I don't. What? What are you talking about? No, I don't. And he just went, never mind. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he just like, was trying to hit some quota, and he was going around lying to customers.
No, but that's illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah, it is. That's why he backed off. You definitely caught him in a lie.
Look at asshole.
But I was just like, isn't that fucked up that he would have, if I was serious, he would have sold somebody a camera that they believed that could shoot Shoot pictures of the moon. And by the way, this was like a $5,000 camera, which is why I even did the lie to begin with.
It was. I don't know if it was 5,000, but yeah, it was at least a few $1,000s.
It was very expensive. Wait, how'd you guys get up on
I mean,
top of it?
I think that if this guy thinks you're stupid enough to like request a camera with a gold chip in it, then he's probably fine with like that's exactly the kind of person that you would lie to be fair.
Yeah, you kind of you deserve it.
Yeah, I kind of did deserve.
Oh man.
Well, because by the way, I actually did buy 2 of them because he did lie pretty well to me, so I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, we actually did go back and we bought like another like.
Tomar emptied out his savings.
We bought like a dozen of them. Yeah.
Oh, Chris, we should talk about. We went to this taco place today. That was the weirdest.
What the fuck was that?
You like fell to the ground.
This happened with fucking the other team, Sonic man. Like what the fuck? Remember we went to that taco place just now. It was delicious, but like. That was like the weirdest experience.
Chris was like ordering. She's going, what?
Yeah, we were convinced she was high.
Yeah, no, I literally said, "Hey, can I have 2 avocado salads?" She's like, 2? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I kept going, yeah. And she was like, "Do you want to make it a combo?" And I was like, "What makes it a combo?" She's like, "What?"
Look, I understand that job sucks, but you got to be present in any job you're doing.
No, but then I was like, "What makes it a combo?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "What makes it a combo?" She's like, "A drink?" And I'm like, "Okay, can we get 2 drinks?"
But by the way, it wasn't bad connection. We heard her. She just
we heard her.
No,
sounding
before
clear.
she even talked to us, she was like laughing, and we could hear like the mic getting knocked
what the
over.
hell was going
And she was
on.
like, "What minute?" And she's like, obviously getting like railed by a dude in there or something.
Probably.
We saw it happen. There was a line of guys having their way.
There was a line of cum across the window.
Yeah, giant smattering of cum. Hell, we also, before that, we were throwing the old pigskin around, and I ate shit by jumping over a little.
That was pretty funny.
3-foot tall fence, so I landed on my back like a fucking old
I'll
man.
be honest, I haven't thrown a football in a very long time.
Corey mastered it. Corey, like, the first couple throws, he didn't get it, but after like 4 or 5, he had this beautiful spiral.
Yeah, I catch it like one of those toddlers clapping their hands together when a bouncy ball comes in their fucking hand, though. So I still haven't mastered the art of catching a ball.
You know what? Sometimes it's just nice to look at a thing.
Yeah.
I went to the zoo today. It's very nice.
Oh, tell us more.
Yeah, I fucking watched the chimps, and one of the chimps picked a shit out of his ass and smashed it on a rock.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, he picked a shit out of his ass and smashed it on a rock, and then got down and started sucking the shit off the rock.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like he put his mouth to the rock and started sucking the shit off of it. They're such majestic creatures.
That's horrid.
And then a couple chimps like went up to each other and started slapping each other, like the Three Stooges. They were like bonking each other on the head, and then one just started fucking the other one.
You know, apes are the best.
They are. I see why you like them so much.
Yeah.
I love a good great ape.
Oh, you love apes when they slurp shite off a rock.
Story is, this is at MagFest, like years and years ago at this point, but there's this app called Yik Yak, and that lets you just sort of see like tweet-like posts from other people, but only within a certain radius. So I was at MagFest and I was bored, and I saw a Yik Yak post saying like, if somebody wants to get sucked off, meet me by the crazy taxi machine. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking awesome. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I can go for getting sucked off right now. So I go to the crazy taxi machine and I start playing it. I respond to the post. I'm just like, yeah, I'm down for being sucked off.
No, you did not.
I swear to God, I did.
Are
I
you
was
serious?
That fucking horny?
Yeah, I was, and I wasn't seeing anybody at the time. So I was like, this is cool. I was like, this is what living life is all about. So I said, yeah, I would like to be sucked off. That sounds very cool. And they were
said
like,
it very politely.
yeah, I was like, please and thank you. Please suck me off. I would really appreciate if you like just gulp the cum out of me.
I would really just love that.
So I go to the arcade place to play Crazy Taxi, and I'm just chilling out. I'm playing it, and nobody's really nearby. And then all of a sudden, like, they said like they'd be there soon in like the little thread there, and the thread's like totally anonymous. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just enjoy this cool game till my cock gets sucked off. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, people wait behind each other to play arcade games, but all of a sudden there's like this creepy fucking like old dude who's like 60 years old, and like he's way older than anybody else at MagFest, and he's just there, and I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe he wants to play. I hope they get here to suck me off soon.
Yeah, he does want to fucking play.
And then all of a sudden I'm like checking the phone. They're like, I'm not seeing any response. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, what if what if they're not actually a girl? And then I'm playing the game, and the person's just kind of like licking their lips and like looking at me, and their hand is on the chair.
This is you. This is just you. This is you waiting for him, Dave.
They're like tracing the outline on your shoulders.
Fucking like fire shooting out of my cocks. I'm waiting.
Dave, how do you?
He
do
said the
this?
old
I
man
forget.
is like fucking revving up his cock. Is
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
That's what you
The
were
old man
saying?
is getting max exceeds looking at me. So I'm sitting there and I'm playing the game very nervously at this point, fucking up all the drop-offs in Crazy Taxi. And the person on my phone, they respond. I'm like, oh my god, okay. What are they gonna say?
Oh, I heard this part. You said you could hardly contain your boner and turn around.
No, that's not it. I could contain my boner. I was getting scared looking at them. Well, like I could see them in the reflection of the game, and I was getting fucking nervous. And then the phone, I checked it, and they said, "I'm here, winky face."
Oh my
And like
god.
the old man's looking at me, and I'm like, oh my fuck, I regret this. I regret this so fucking much. And like, I don't know what to do. I'm like sweating. It's like I don't want to be sucked off by an old dude, and I'm being looked at weird. And like the time on the counter is running down, and it's just like really bad.
Time's running out.
Exactly. And then like, I don't know what to fucking do. And then all of a sudden, they like tap me on the shoulder, and they're like, "Are you done playing the fucking game yet? Like I've been waiting for my turn for fucking forever." And I was like, oh, okay. And then I checked my phone, and they're like, "Where are you?" I'm by the Crazy Taxi machine that's by Dig Dug, and that's the one across from the arcade place.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, "Are you a guy or a girl?" They're like, "I'm a man, baby." I was like, "All right, fuck this." You should fucking said it to begin with. Fuck you.
You deserved every moment of that.
I do, but yeah, I do.
You do, and also that means you had probably the best game of Crazy Taxi of all time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone.
that timer really fucking meant like it
That was
really
a real
meant
life
something.
experience.
Yeah.
I've never been like more like awkwardly nervous in my whole life.
Are you going to associate Crazy Taxi with that from now on?
Kind of. I've totally fucking learned my lesson.
So every time you play Crazy Taxi, you'll see the silhouette of a fucking old man behind you rubbing his cock.
Delicious. This is going to be crazy.
These guys won't stop with the stupid boats.
Me and my dad were at the beach and we saw a megalodon.
Well, what'd you do?
Oh yeah. How'd that work out?
It was a megalodon fighting another megalodon.
And what did you do though?
We were just like admiring. We were just standing on the beach admiring it.
They
were thrashing around.
Yeah, I saw a pterodactyl once. So I mean, it does.
Where? Like where?
Oh yes.
I was on a hike.
Oh, they're gonna get blasted so hard.
You saw a pterodactyl on a hike.
Yeah.
Where? Like, be specific.
I was up the fucking mountain, dude.
Like, which one, though? Why can't you just name the mountain?
One of the
Because I don't have. Why should I have to answer to
like,
you?
I can name the beach I was at.
What beach was it?
Well, I don't have to tell you what beach it was.
So you don't believe my story, and yet you espouse your own theory.
I'm not saying I don't believe your story. I'm just saying that why would you not just tell me? Because I want to see the pterodactyl.
Well, the problem is this: it was a.
What?
I love how all the music, the game's music just stopped.
The pterodactyl did tell me not to tell anyone, so that was probably a big fact.
Oh, so it spoke. How
Yeah,
convenient for you.
He did tell. He was talking to me.
Okay, well, I can't refute that, so I guess that conversation's over.
Well, it just sounds like my thing happened, your thing did, but like you have a different version.
Also, honestly, Lara Croft wasn't that hot on
was
PlayStation.
hot. Yes,
on
she
the
was.
PlayStation,
Yes,
I
she
honestly.
was. Yes, she was.
I think 2B got her beat, honestly.
She actually did.
I think you're forgetting just how pointy those. What would you call that? Like a pyramid? It's like a pyramid shape.
Even though she
Like
had
a
a great,
cone.
even
It's a
though she had a
cone.
great ass, she had
Cone-like.
boring like fucking like what kind of Vicky tits from Fairly Odd Parents?
They are Vicky tits.
Yeah,
It's
she
like
just had these
style,
like sharp spikes.
Look at these, twerp!
She stabs Timmy in the eye.
That's terrible.
What do you mean it's
She's
terrible?
40 and he's 7.
That's Timmy's fucking fantasy.
Yeah,
That is the last episode.
I have seen so much porn
I wish I
of
could
what
see
you
it.
just described.
I remember being.
But I remember, but also Timmy wasn't a child. Okay, he was like a 8-foot man who had a big 6-foot dick. Okay, so give me a break.
I remember being like 12 and being like, I wish I had a babysitter and I wish she'd fuck me.
Same. Yeah,
Really?
Young boys are sick. Yeah, I had the same.
Well, I guess like no, not really, because you're like
No, you
it's
know
a
what?
babysitter.
My
You know, it's a
babysitter, when I
girl
was
who's coming over to your house.
When,
or a
when
guy,
I was
no
like 8 years old, I had a babysitter who was like a high school girl who's like
you're
literally a
like, "Fuck me."
cheerleader. She thought I was a cute little boy, but I had puppy dog love for her.
Aww.
But she just thought you were cute, so she was
She
just
thought I was a
like,
cute little
"Aw."
boy, but I wanted to like dry hump her arm like a dog. but you're that age and you don't even know better. You're just like
No, I get it.
like,
I get
like,
it.
Makes sense.
You're like, oh, you just,
I know
there's
what you mean. The
something-
second she gets up, you sniff this place you were sitting.
I
I've been there, done that, dude.
It's fucking evil. I have a very distinct memory of being in the back of my dad's pickup truck, and he had like just a magazine back there, and there was like a really hot woman I was looking at, and he looked back and he was like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "Oh," and I put it back. And he was like, "It's okay if you want to look at that." I was like, "No, I don't want to look at it."
I don't want to look at that again.
Oh,
Zach, you should tell me. You should tell the story about when you were going on a trip. You know, deal with like a fucking kid.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Do you want to seem like an unlikely?
No, dude, I
ungrateful adult?
have pretty fucking good tolerance of being annoyed on flights. I don't really have that many bad flight experiences, but yeah, I took a flight like a few months ago. It was the worst flight I've ever been on in my entire life. And what it was there was a couple, like a young couple in their 20s, and even with like kids, people are like, "Oh, I fucking hate kids." I really don't mind children, but these parents were so fucking undisciplined. I really don't. I can even tolerate a crying kid for the most part.
I was just copying you.
These fucking parents were like the most limp-wristed nothing. The dad was like just like a scared young guy, clearly like just a total coward. But basically they had like a toddler who was old enough to talk, so it wasn't a baby. It was not a baby. It was like a 4-year-old. And they kept saying phrases over and over. This was a red-eye flight. This was like a 5 a.m. flight. 5 a.m. And we landed at like 8 or 9 or something. And it was a one-way. But this little fucking toddler kept going between peaks and valleys of they'd be like, they have the biggest high ever. And they would just start saying, hold on. They did that. And this was a 3-hour flight or something. Kept saying that phrase over and over and over.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, please.
When you say it like that, it reminds me of that video we saw where it's like this guy's on a bus and he's like, "Oh, use Captain, we have a problem. Captain, we have a problem.
Yes,
Captain, we have a problem."
it was that. It was the same phrase over and over and over. It was maddening. But then they would start crying, but they didn't just cry. They would say no, but they didn't. They didn't say, so they go no. As annoying as that was, imagine that from an actual child, like an octave higher than that. For a whole. So they go from that no to then to happiness, and it was maddening. It was fucking. Dude, the father didn't do anything. And I was like trying to sleep. I had like sound canceling headphones on, and through that, I couldn't even hear the airplane through that. It was like dead silence, but I heard like muffled. I was going insane. I was going crazy. It was the most irritable I've ever been, ever on a flight.
I seriously believe that like people who allow their kids to do that. Obviously,
why don't they have the take the back seats of an airplane and make it soundproof and make that the kids section?
I honestly think they have like a parent who has nothing but just dealt with their kid going, "Oh, that yeah." Eventually, like it just gets to the point where they're too fucking tired.
Don't be a parent. Don't be a fucking parent if you can't discipline.
I agree, but like they don't even fucking hear it anymore.
You're right. It's background noise to them.
Yeah,
but dude, when I went to church when I was a kid, right, there was always a little soundproof silent area with glass. Why does a fucking airplane not have a back like 6 seats can be for children, and you take them back there and it's soundproof? Why?
Or a consequence, like if everyone had a keypad on their seat and you can like type in someone's seat and be like, eject this person from the plane.
Yeah, shoot them out.
Absolutely, I
they
agree.
just get sucked out.
Or dude, building a giant fucking like thing that goes over the kid's head that makes them soundproof. Imagine, you just put it over the head, it just goes silence. Silence. You can't
every
even hear
plane
them.
has like a policeman sitting at the back with a gun. He should walk up and aim the gun in the kid's face and say, "Ah, shut up!
Yeah, shut up!
He shoves the gun in his mouth. Oh, I'm gonna do it!
And play Russian roulette, and if the cops,
like,
yeah. Hold on. Dude, I was walking. This is not even a great story, but I was just walking.
I was walking the ant.
I was walking. I saw a tree on the road. No, I was walking into my apartment, and I saw it was like 2 a.m. and I saw a guy with like his girlfriend or whatever outside, and he was like grabbing her face, like not assaulting her, but he's like grabbing her face, like very like by the cheeks basically. And he was like, "Don't talk down to me ever again." I was like, "Oh my god!" I almost called the cops. And I just went inside and I ate my chicken. And then that was it.
That's a great story.
Am I a bad person for that? The guy was big, by the way. He was a gigantic man who could have killed me.
I mean, it sounds like he was being a jerk, but it doesn't sound like you observed anything.
He didn't have any black eyes.
In real life, if you had to go to the casino, that would suck.
I did have to go to this casino.
Well, yeah, did you accidentally fall into a pair of spikes?
No, my mom and dad were like...
Did you get stuck in here and almost suffocate? Luckily there's a spring you can hold down?
No, worse things happened. My mom and dad were like...
you went to bouncy area over here.
My mom and dad were like, we're visiting soon, but we want to go to Vegas. Would you go with us? And I was like, nah, I don't want to go to Vegas. And they were like, but we're going on a road trip. And I'm like...
Now I want to go.
No, yeah, I was like, I do want to go on a road trip, but I hate Vegas. I don't like
Vegas
casinos. And they were like, okay, how about this? You just stay in the hotel and like watch TV or whatever, and then like after a day or two, we'll just go on the road trip. I'm like, fine. But then when it came to that point, they were like, they kept trying to make me go out and do shit in Vegas, even though I fucking hate it. And then one day, I got really like annoyed and just like walked back to the hotel, and then there was a bunch of like hookers and like scary dudes trying to like get me to do stuff, and they were like harassing me.
Dude, Las Vegas is scary.
By Strumpet's Most Foul?
There was this bunch of raggedy old fucking bitch prostitutes. Like, they were nasty, and they were like, "Hey, big tall guy, come over here." And I was like, "No." And then like I was saying it out loud, like, "Stop."
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris,
What?
when I went to Las Vegas, well, we were trying to pass time because Las Vegas is really expensive. It's funny, like everything there is like $40 more than it normally would be.
I'm
because
sick of shitty places costing so much, like fucking Disneyland. Dude, Disneyland was the biggest fucking piece of shit ever this year, and it cost so much money. But anyway, go on.
No.
Same with Vegas. It's shit and it costs too much.
Las Vegas is basically you go there because they know you're gonna at least make something back, so they can like, cause you will. Like I made like $80 in like 20 minutes.
You're so right. Everyone makes their money back at Vegas.
But you have to know when to fold because like you're not gonna be getting to the 100,000 unless you're a lunatic or you're lucky. But so when I went there, I was like, all right, $80. I've almost spent like $200 now, and it's only been one day. This is a bad sign. We were like, I want to pass time. So we looked around, and there was these guys who were like, hey, you want to have a good time? And he was like handing us cards. And I was like, yeah. And so I just walk around, and we went with John. So everybody who was there, I was just grabbing cards. People were like, you want to meet her? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, do you have any more of her? And I just kept grabbing cards. And like, I had a huge stockpile of nudie girls who wanted to be banged and they would probably rob you. And then when we got back to the hotel room, we made a battling trading card game with the girls.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Yeah, like the breast size gave them like more strength, and like depending on what they did, they would have like better defense.
Yeah, I remember
it was
that.
really fun.
Wait a minute,
I'm in hell. I don't know how to get out of here.
Wait,
yeah, what?
Why does it look like Vegas?
It's because we're in Vegas.
Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Why does it look?
But that was the funnest I had in Vegas when I wasn't getting ripped off.
When you're fucking creating a card game out of hooker cards with fucking dead hookers that don't probably exist anymore. They're using the same old art that they fucking stole.
That didn't cost Corey a penny. See, if you know how to do Vegas right, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Oh, this is a boss. That's cool.
This boss is annoying if you get like in a loop. But if you can do this...
Yeah.
He's gonna come in and go, "Hello, Sonic, do you want to meet some girls?
Check out this bad one."
He's handing Sonic cards and he's just collecting them. No!
Oh, but
Hey, homeboy,
you know, dude,
you
those
need a
hooker
bump.
cards, you just see them on the side of the street as a kid, and you're like, yes, please, and you put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then your dad is like, why is your
pocket so heavy?
If I was a kid and some man in his like late 40s was like, hey, you want to have a good time, but I'm like 10 and he's handing me cards, I'm going to be like, whoa, free porn.
Yeah,
and I'm
going to be
collecting them like
absolutely,
crazy.
I want to have a good fucking time. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to be collecting them like crazy.
Julian, did I ever tell you about the London mishap?
No, tell me. Did you poison all of London or something?
No. It was
That you're talking about vomiting?
Meet. It was a Newgrounds London meet.
Uh-huh.
How old was I? I think I was...
Was
19.
David Firth there?
He was not. No, I was... Okay, I was 19. I went to Newgrounds London meet with some of my friends from Ireland, right? So we went to a bar where everyone was like drinking and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to eat and line my stomach, and I just didn't do it. So they all were like, we're gonna get pizza. I'm like, I don't want pizza. And I just went into the bar, and I drank think I drank 8 pints of.
And you said, "Give me everything."
No, I was like, I drank 8 pints of Bulmers, and I was like, and they were like, we need to get Chris home. I was like, and then they put me into a taxi cab, right? Second I get into it, I stick my head out the window and go,
oh no.
and the car was driving, so it made like a rainbow of puke, and it spread over the side of the car because it was driving.
I imagine you poked your head out and there's a car behind you and they look at you and you just smile at them and you vomit all over them.
No, I was with my friends, and Harry Partridge and his girlfriend were there, and they were like, oh god. And then the guy was like, get the fuck out of the car. So we got out of the car, right? And then this other taxi pulled up because they hailed it, and I was just like standing at the side of the road, and I was like, and they were like, can you bring our friend home? And they're like, no, he's too drunk. They're like, please, sir, it's like 4 a.m. and we don't know how to get back. And he's like, okay, fine. And they like gave me like a bag to puke in case I needed to. And so my friend Jack and Sean walked back to the hotel, and my friend brought me back to the hotel, right? So they're walking through London at like 4 a.m. They see a man in the middle of the street and a woman, and they walk up closer to them, and it turns out his finger is up her arse. And then he turns around to
Did you just say arse?
Arse. That's how they would say it.
You didn't say arse.
That's how they explained it. The guy turns around, he goes, he smells his finger.
No!
He does. He smells his
That
finger.
didn't happen, really?
It did. And then Sean and Jack were like, ah! And they like run. They like run really fast. And they walk into the hotel, right? And my friend was on the bed, and they were like, where's Chris? And he was like, he's in the bathroom. They're like, is the door open? He's like, no, he won't let me in.
Chris, they say the loo. They say he's sitting
English
on the
people say
shitty.
that. We're Irish. But they're
What
like,
do you say? What do you call it?
the toilet.
The toiler?
The toilet. But fucking Jack and Sean are like, where's Chris? He's like, he's in the bathroom. And they're like, is he in there by himself? And they're like, he's like, yeah, he won't let me in. They're like, fuck's sake, right? And they use a coin to like unlock the door, and they open it. I'm like sitting on the toilet with my pants down asleep, and I'm like, and they're like, fuck's sake. And then they try picking me up off the toilet, and shit sprays out of my ass.
Oh my god.
All over the floor. And,
what a night.
And they throw me on the floor in my own shit, right? And then they drag me out of the bathroom, and then I wake up in the morning with my pants down around my ankles, covered in shit, and I'm like, was I? Because I don't know where I am. And
Was I?
I don't know where I am. I'm face down on a floor. My pants are down, and I'm like I'm not. I haven't realized I'm covered in shit yet. And I'm like I was definitely. So I sit up and I look around. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm like in my room.
Oh, he dissolved into brown sauce. Thank God.
No, and I sit up and I'm really angry because I'm like, why the fuck am I on the floor? Where's my pants? And then I sit up and I go, what's happening? And my friend Jack just sat up and he went, Chris, sit the fuck down! And I'm like, okay. And I go back to sleep. And I wake up again and I'm like in so much pain because of my head. And I'm just like, what happened? And they're like, Chris, you were such an asshole last night. I'm like, what happened? They're like, you got super drunk and you were like shouting and you puked everywhere and you shit all over the floor. I'm like, I don't believe you. And they took out their phones and they showed me pictures of literally everything they said.
And then you went.
No, I did not go. I went.
He should have.
I went.
You are a real asshole.
I went. Oh no. I deleted. I made sure that
you deleted them.
You deleted
I felt so embarrassed. But now looking back on it, it's like the funniest shit ever.
Chris,
that's a very embarrassing
Chris,
story.
if you shouted out deleted and a giant cursor came in the room, it broke through the window, it picked up your friend and dragged him to a recycling bin.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
I'd lol. I'd empty him.
Empty him?
Into the recycling bin.
Oh, I mean, I thought you meant like his bowels.
That's what I did.
You see, how do you feel? Not so funny, is it?
No, but can I just end the story by saying I've never gotten that drunk since, and I'm actually quite nice when I drink.
Yeah, you usually go out of your way to be like, oh yeah, I don't want to drink too much. You've definitely learned your lesson, I think.
I think everyone reaches the point in being drunk where they go from being lovely to being kind of an asshole.
What do you want?
Your hand in marriage.
Yeah. I would never get married.
To a Lego?
To a lesbian. I got lied to
by a lesbian.
Well, kind of.
What'd she say?
I definitely no, I can't.
What?
It's really.
What? What is it, Adam? Okay.
Die.
You should tell the story about your threesome.
Oh, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I was in Paris, and there was these, when I was living there and working there, there's these two, like, fucking lesbian couple.
I'm not even talking about that threesome story.
Oh, with the Russian dude? Yeah. Oh, that was really uncomfortable. Yeah, I had another threesome that wasn't with women, that was not with lesbian women, that was with a straight man and a woman. Might have been bi, who knows. He was definitely bi. Well, anyway, back to the story. So you know when you're supposed to, like, fuck, like, well, you know when you're supposed to have a threesome and you're, like, fucking a girl with your bro and you're supposed to just be like, this is for bros, we're not gonna be gay, this is bro shit. Anyway, so we were like, oh, this is gonna be fun, man, it's gonna be so bonding, it's gonna be good. And then we got into my bedroom, and, we got in the nude, and I was like, alright, let's rail her. And then basically, he went to my freezer and he grabbed ice cubes. I was like, he's like, I'm gonna grab ice cubes. I was like, okay, go grab some goddamn ice cubes, let's do this thing. And then he started trying to put them on me. And he started trying to put ice cubes on me. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And I got so goddamn uncomfortable that I got up and walked out of the room. And we never hung out again.
You told me you tried rubbing your nipples.
Yeah, with ice cubes.
Badass.
Yeah.
How did you have sex with two lesbians?
They were a couple.
Well, one hole for the dick, one hole for the balls.
No, it was really weird. They kept like...
I just imagined it. Sorry, go.
What? Are you sure this is appropriate?
No.
Well, I fucked the lesbian lovers. They were lovers. I'm not gay, but they're lovers. And I was like, and we were at a club, and we all got really drunk, and I met they're just in a group, and I was like, hello. And then they came back to my apartment.
That was it. Hello.
No, yeah, and they were
like, oh.
If only it was that easy all the time.
They were at my apartment, and anyway, they were like making out and like getting freaky. In my second bedroom, I walked in, I was like, can I join? They're like, sure. And I was like, really?
That's so badass.
It was fun. And then, oh yeah, they were really fucking attractive. I hit them up for like a long time after. They never responded to me.
They regretted it.
Probably. I didn't regret it. It was cool.
Adam, you're crazy.
Me?
Yeah.